All right, welcome. Today, we're diving deep into one of the most fascinating archetypes in the entire tarot deck, the Queen of Cups. And let me tell you, she's so much more than just a piece of cardboard. Think of her as a mirror for our own emotional intelligence.
So let me just start with a big question for you. What if your emotions, your intuition, your empathy, all that stuff, what if they weren't weaknesses you had to keep in check? What if they were actually your greatest superpower? That's the journey we're going to go on today.
Okay, so let's meet her. And for this, I want you to forget everything you think you know about fortune telling. We're not doing that here. We're looking at the Queen of Cups as an archetype, a really powerful symbol for mastering our own inner world, that emotional realm.
So who is she, really? At her core, well, think of her as the absolute embodiment of emotional intelligence. She is deeply, deeply intuitive, powerfully compassionate, and she works from this place of wisdom that isn't intellectual at all. It's not something you can read in a book. It's felt. It comes straight from the heart.
All right, so first up, let's explore her compassionate heart. This is the queen when she's in her most balanced, most powerful state. This is where her emotional energy is just clear, it's flowing, and it's a genuine force for good in the world.
So what does that look like? Well, here are her best qualities all laid out. We're talking deep compassion and kindness, a super strong intuition, and just this wellspring of creativity. She's emotionally secure, a natural-born healer, and an incredibly loyal partner. She's that person you feel completely and totally safe with. And this really gets to the heart of it. She's a sensitive soul, for sure, but that sensitivity, that's her strength. It's what allows her to be such a fantastic listener, someone who is truly, genuinely empathetic. And here's the key difference. She feels with you, not just for you. It's a whole different level. So when this kind of energy shows up in your life, it's a huge positive sign. It's often pointing to a time of real emotional fulfillment, both at work and in your personal relationships. It can even signal financial security. And it's definitely a clear nudge from the universe saying, hey, trust your gut. Your intuition is probably way stronger than you give it credit for.
But, every light has to cast a shadow. So what happens when all this beautiful, balanced energy gets twisted? When that compassion turns into self-centeredness, or when her security just sours into deep insecurity? Well, that's when we meet a totally different version of the queen. And it's where we see how her greatest power can flip and become her greatest weakness.
And this brings us to her troubled waters, the reversed queen. Now, I want to be really clear. This isn't some evil version of her, not at all. It's just what happens when her emotional energy gets blocked or ignored, or maybe just turns a little immature.
And man, the contrast is stark. That compassionate healer, she can become emotionally immature and really needy. Her powerful intuition, totally blocked. That fierce loyalty can even flip completely into disloyalty. Or, and this is a big one, she can fall into that trap of just giving and giving so much of herself that she ends up with absolutely nothing left. Just total burnout. So, the core warning of the reverse queen is really this. She can become incredibly fragile, almost overly sensitive. And when she feels hurt or challenged, instead of responding with that emotional maturity, she might become bitter or spiteful or even a little vengeful. It's like the emotions that were once her superpower are now totally controlling her. And of course, this has real-world consequences. In relationships, it might look like neediness or clinginess. At work, it could show up as a massive creative block, or just that feeling of being completely exhausted and directionless. You know that feeling, right? Of giving everything away and realizing you have nothing left for yourself?
Okay, so let's bring this all back to you. Because the Queen of Cups, whether she's upright or reversed, is a mirror. She's not here to predict your fate. She's here to reveal the current state of your own emotional world.
So here's a really practical way you can apply her wisdom to your life. Think about it. In love, are you coming from a place of security and warmth, or is it more neediness and insecurity? In your career, are you feeling fulfilled and creative, or are you just blocked and exhausted? And with your health, are you practicing self-compassion, or are you heading straight for burnout?
So the big question is, how do we get more of her positive energy into our lives? Well, it all starts with listening to that inner voice, your intuition. It means practicing genuine compassion. And hey, that starts with yourself first and then for others. It means finding a healthy outlet for all that creativity. And this is absolutely crucial, learning to set healthy emotional boundaries so you don't give every last piece of yourself away.
And really, that brings us right back to where we started. The Queen of Cups is holding up a mirror to your heart, your creativity, and your intuition. So the only question left to ask is, what do you see?